Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, you know, when you see a pack like the Dungeon Pack drop with loads of skill books in, a Clan v Clan tournament is coming up. We've got Clan v Clan dropping in tomorrow, and it seems to be their kind of formula now to always do a ×10 champion pool with Clan v Clan stuff. So let's have a look to see the champions that are going to be up for grabs tomorrow, 4th of Jan. ×10 chance to get the following champions from Ancients, Sacreds, or Voids. There's only 2 champions in the mix, actually, but both kind of mental ones, really. We're going to start with the non-Void. This is actually a champion that I really want. So, Sicia Flametongue. I guess look, at one point she was the answer to Spider 25, like in terms of doing fast runs. We're a bit past that now. We've got teams that can do, you know, sub 1 minute runs on Spider 25. Quite a lot of teams, actually. So she's not like a requirement for that, but she's still one of the best burners out there and crazy damage dealers in terms of late game content where you get a lot of damage from burns. So Sicia Flametongue, she's not like some sort of arena meta crazy champ. There's not going to be all the whales like I have to get her for that. But certainly a good champion to have on your roster. I will say as well, like, during the Clan v Clan stuff, there's really no reason to pull your shards unless you are desperate to win that Clan v Clan tournament. Like, there's no personal rewards tomorrow. There's nothing like that going on. So this will be for like either the whales that just want to pull shards all the time, or for the kind of real casual player that just pulls shards whenever. Like, they don't care. Like if nothing's going on and they get a brand new shard today, they just drop it. That's the type of player that would pull shards right now. I want Sicia. I don't feel like it's a good time for me to pull shards, especially with a 2-time Sacred coming up, I think, this weekend. I'm pretty sure it's Sacred. So anyway, what's going on with this one? Triple hit A1. Each hit, when booked out, is a 30% chance of increasing duration of burns on a target. So you just escalating the amount of burns that pop up. Each hit, 30% is quite nice, but increasing the duration of a burn, I don't know if it's really that important. It's an okay A1. It's nothing too crazy. The A2 is kind of crazy. In fact, I'll start with the A3 because it empowers the A2. So the A3 places HP burn on this champion for 3 turns, then attacks all enemies, and if booked, 100% chance of placing HP burn on all enemies for 3 turns. Gets an extra turn if an HP burn is placed everywhere. And that sounds like that should happen a lot. And it probably happens a reasonable amount, but there's always a 3% chance, even if you've got the best accuracy in the world, unless it says cannot be resisted, always a 3% chance that someone will resist a burn. She can weak hit to not place the burns. So it's not like a guarantee that you're going to put burns everywhere. That's her only fallback. But if you do get burns everywhere, she gets another turn, and then she goes into her A2. And this is kind of nuts. So another AoE ability. If booked, 100% chance of putting out Weaken, 100% chance of putting out Decreased Defense. So the 2 damage escalating abilities, debuffs. And this is for 2 turns if there are at least 2 enemies under the burn. So you have to have at least burnt 2, which you should do with the A3, to be fair. Like, you should have that happening. So the fact is, if you've got another turn to come into your A2, 100% that's happened. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Then instantly activates the burn on all targets and decreases the duration of those burns. So basically, she's just doing like a pop of damage. Against Spider, it's like an explosion of damage, almost half health to Spider. If you get this working, it's just a nuts ability. Doom Tower bosses, like high-level dungeons, it's just like smacking people for high damage. And burns is the best way to do damage on end-game content for the most part. So Sicia Flametongue does it really well. She's also got this passive here, so increases her speed by 3 and damage inflicted by 3% for each ally under an HP burn. And then she's got this pair up with Cardiel. If Cardiel's on the same team, all allies will heal by 3% of their max HP for each burn debuffs instead of receiving damage, which is a really cool kind of pair up, actually. So all in all, she's got accuracy in all battles as well. Really good base defense and good base attack. Pretty low on the base HP, actually. She's a bit squishy in health, which you'd have to make up for. But a really solid champion, a really fun, well thought out kit. And yeah, normally, like, I would love to get her, but I don't feel like this is the right time to pull shards. So that's the non-void. And then the void champion, one of the old fusion champions, probably, I mean, one of the most like sought after, abused, gone into the meta, out of the meta, into the meta. Like, he's a real champion that just causes havoc. He's actually a really solid, fun champion, Tormin the Cold. So he was crazy. They nerfed him a bit. He's still kind of crazy, but there's more ways to deal with him now. But still a really good champion. Very good base defense, very good base health. Makes him very hard to kill. He's got a passive as well. Part of his passive is he revives with full health when he's killed, but he freezes himself. So basically, he becomes a nightmare because it's like, do I go after him or not? If I don't kill him, then the rest of his passive freezes me. Yeah, so 20% chance goes up to 30 of placing a freeze on each debuff on the enemy each time they receive a buff or have their turn meter filled. So someone like an Arbiter fills turn meter, then does buffs. That's like 8 chances to land this. It's crazy. So yeah, he becomes a real anti-speed team sort of champion. So the passive, like in total, is nuts. Really, really cool. Yeah, they've changed it. So they actually nerfed him from, I think this was like maybe 35, went up to 45. It was something insane. It was something insane. And now it's just crazy. So yeah, Tormund's passive is probably the best part of his kit, honestly, because all you need to do is build him with accuracy and let him sit there, and he freezes up your enemies. When you play against him in like Doom Tower waves, he just ruins your turn order. It's like, this is what I want my team to do. And he's like, well, you know what? 30% chance it's not going to happen that way. So pretty damn cool passive. So the rest of his kit then, A1, AoE, 25% chance to freeze if you book it. 25% chance on an AoE, actually good. Instantly activates this skill. We don't see this enough. We don't see this combo enough. It's actually really good fun. So when he first came out, I was using him in this way a ton in defense-based go second arena teams. It was actually a load of fun to do. So instantly activates this skill whenever an enemy has both HP burn and freeze. Yeah, so you put a burner in your team, you put him in your team. If the freeze and burn connects, then his A1s are popping off all over the place. His A2 is pretty cool as well. So removes all buffs from an enemy, then attacks to target 2 times. So double hitter, steals buffs before he hits. Steals all buffs instead if the target is under a freeze already. So again, that freeze coming into play. So removes them if it's if they're not under a freeze, steals them if they're under a freeze. Will ignore defense if they're under a freeze and a burn. So again, that synergy of the burn coming in makes him hit way harder. And then his A3 is an AoE ability. Puts a block buffs out there, really good for Hydra, actually. I don't know if people use him for that because the rest of his kit doesn't make a lot of sense for Hydra, but I guess still buff as well. Pretty cool, actually. Can't freeze them, though. But yeah, puts block buffs out, which is annoying to face in the arena. Heal reduction is annoying to face generally, and those go on for 2 turns. It hits hard as well, this ability. You can definitely build like a nuke Tormund. I'll show you mine in a sec. He does a ton of work, ton of damage. 60% chance of placing provoke as well if they don't have a freeze on them. Decreases the cooldown of a random skill if they got a freeze and a burn. Again, that synergy of the freeze and a burn. So, I mean, tons going on in his kit. Increased defense in all battles as his aura. Everything about his kit is solid. It's a really fun, well thought out champion again. So these 2 champs are both like top tier legendaries, honestly. They're top tier. I'll show you my Tormund quick, the way I've got mine built. So mine's in swift parry, just with random other gear, but built to do damage, like nearly 5k defense, nearly 100% crit rate, 266 crit damage, enough accuracy just to kind of freeze up the people that won't have resistance gear. So like the damage dealers or the go second type debuffers, they won't have resistance builds. So I actually don't need a lot of accuracy for him in the arena to do his job. And I'll tell you now, he is a menace in a defensive comp in the arena. So there you go. I guess let me know what you're going to do. We've got Clan v Clan tomorrow. Is that something that you don't generally save shards to pull for to get the points? Or are you going to be saving for the ×2 events we've got coming up over the next few weeks? I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.